The next progression tier has us unlocking oil processing, which has a lot of things that are focused around oil and the things that it can produce, such as the plastic, rubber, and fuel, just general fuel, I suppose. But the biggest thing this is going to do for us is enable us to scan for crude oil. Now, the reason that that excites me is because I haven't found any, and I've been doing a fair amount of searching. In my exploration video, you can see we went pretty far, although I didn't actually go west at all. So it could all be over there or underwater, which again is a thing that I haven't been exploring very much. But we're going to now be able to scan for that oil, which will be pretty huge. I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like. Popping open the scanner, you can see we have a new material down on the bottom, crude oil. So let's see how far we're going to have to go to find some of this. Well, it's not that close. Ooh, it's pretty far. What's the closest one? 2 kilometers away. Oh, God. That's a problem. So do we head northwest or east-northeast? I decided to try and find the oil to the northwest just because I really haven't been over here, and I kind of wanted to explore. Oh my God, that's a lot of water. Wow, this is a gigantic lake. It appears that to get to the oil I'm going to have to cross this water, which is fine by me because I've attracted a lot of attention in the form of these spitters. So let's hope they can't follow me in the water. Luckily, it seems that the oil is not underwater. Not that it would have made much difference, I just don't like doing a lot of swimming. So there's some over here somewhere. Is it just that puddle over there? Well, I think it is the puddle, but this one's being guarded by a very, very large spitter, so we're going to have to do battle over this resource. I'm down to my last medicinal inhaler, which is a problem. I feel like I'm getting attacked. Oh, these bugs too. Oh God, this is terrible. I gotta get out of here. I don't have the resources for this. I had to flee that area and instead decided to go for a different oil deposit. So this is what we're dealing with. Just regular crude oil, just hanging out on the ground. I can't harvest it by hand. I was actually wondering if there would be an animation for that. It would probably look amusing, just trying to spoon it out of the water with my hands. So we're going to instead throw down an oil extractor. And, oh gosh, did I forget? I forgot to bring motors. I've grabbed the resources that I needed, and I'm also going to be constructing a hypertube network between here and the oil deposit because I have a feeling I'm going to be forgetting even more resources, and it's going to be nice to just have a way to get between here and there in the future. Oh my God, I'm so close. I really hope this is enough resources. Okay. Just one more section to connect up. I've got one of these big bad spitters in my way, but I think I should be good. So we... Oh my God! Look how close that is! I came with it. One pipe of not having enough. That is pretty phenomenal. I actually came up a bit shorter than that because we didn't make it all the way to this area, but I like how flat and open this is, so I guess I can use the remaining space just for expansion. So now that we are here and we have the required number of motors, it is time to throw down an oil extractor. So let's go ahead and... I don't really know what this facility is going to look like. I don't really know what I need to do with the oil, so I'm going to point this that direction towards some more flat open space. So there it is. I really hope it doesn't require a lot of electricity because we're pretty far away from the coal. And I'm just going to try and start off powering this with a biomass burner. Well, one was not going to do the trick, but two should be just fine because those each produce 30 megawatts and this guy requires 40. So it is... I assume it's working? Oh no, I guess it's already filled up. How fast was that? So we need to, I guess, deliver this crude oil somewhere. The machine that's going to be immediately downstream of our oil extractor is the refinery, and this is actually requiring some steel pipe, so I had to disassemble part of my hypertube network to pay for this. That's okay, we'll head back to the main base and grab some stuff later. So let's go ahead and throw this refinery down somewhat near, so that I don't have to waste too many resources on throwing down some piping. So There we go. Wow, that is a very menacing sound for a slightly menacing machine. So let's connect this guy up to the oil extractor. And then we'll see what it needs in terms of power. So let's go ahead and pretend like we're going to be producing plastic here. And we're needing 30 megawatts. So I am having to upgrade my power here again. Okay, third biomass burner down. Let's hook this guy up and see what we're dealing with. So we've got the oil extractor sending some crude oil into the refinery. You can see that the flow isn't very quick. Let's see what this guy's up to. Seems like he is producing some plastic and some heavy oil residue, which is just a byproduct. I don't know how any of this works. This is going to be kind of complicated, but we're not producing plastic, which I guess is good. To say that the discovery of oil has added some complexity to operations would be a colossal understatement. I've been going through the recipes in the refinery and realized that we have a lot ahead of us in terms of the need for intelligent production lines and even some recursive production. Because right now we're using the extractor to produce the crude oil, which is then being turned into plastic in this refinery, but we're also getting the byproduct of heavy oil residue. Now we can use that heavy oil residue for a couple things. The most important seems to be the petroleum coke right now, because we're going to need some additional electricity here, and while there is no coal node in sight, we have a lot of water. So being able to fuel coal generators with the nearby water and then the petroleum coke, which is going to be a part of this production line, is going to be pretty huge. Now we also run into this vicious cycle where the electricity is going to require the crude oil, or at least the crude oil production line, and then the crude oil production line is going to require the electricity. So if we lose one or have some kind of glitch in that production system, we're going to lose electricity, cause that short, and it's going to be really tough to get that going again. So maybe tying these electricity grids into the same network could be helpful, because then we have some way to kind of back up those really crucial processes like the water extraction and the crude oil extraction. But again, that's going to require a lot of trial and error, so we'll figure that out as we go. The other things that we can do here with some of those byproducts are create the residual fuel. Now the fuel appears to be something that we can use to convert into electricity, but I don't have the plant that can use that yet, and I'm not sure that it's going to be much more efficient to use this in vehicles, because none of the vehicles I use right now are really fuel hogs. Now we also have this other type of fuel, just the regular fuel, which is going to be requiring the crude oil. So right now doing okay in terms of oil extraction, but we may need some other oil extractors nearby, but luckily we have some of the crude oil too. So going that route, trying to make the fuel, we then get another byproduct, this time in the form of this polymer resin. Now the polymer resin can then be used to create the residual plastics and the residual rubbers, which is also requiring the water. So we're going to throw some water extractors here. It's going to be rough, and I'm actually for the first time tempted to grab a notepad and actually draw out what we're going to need and what this is going to look like, because you can see with my main base, things are already getting pretty ugly, but everything is just going to get better from here. Hopefully we can replace these biomass burners with a more permanent and robust electrical system, hopefully one that's self-sufficient, although I could just go over to that coal electricity plant and just beef that up to the point where everything's on the same grid, just requiring that. But it could be fun to try and figure out that petroleum coke, and we'll have to figure out the rest of this hypertube network, maybe add another network going from here to the other electricity plant, but it's gonna get wild. We've got maybe some of the hard stuff done, maybe we've done all the walking and we've gotten out here, established a partial transportation network that had to get partially disassembled to create some of these machines. But everything's looking good. We're making forward progress, and I'm excited for all of the cool things that we're going to be able to make with the oil production process. So thank you guys for watching this episode, and get excited for future oil products and cars and plants and trucks and trains and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.